Charlie's dad is even worse than we thought. Speaking of parents, I think Seth and Damon are now full-time cast members and not mad at it. And lastly, Georgia, will you be my therapist? Welcome to Showmance, guys, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Dives as deep as the psychoanalysis that everyone thinks that Charlie needs, except me. But mostly because I don't care. I don't care about you, Charlie.
Way harsh, Ty.
Sorry, but I don't care about this brat.
That explains my favorite thing ever about YouTube.
What?
Which is?
My favorite thing about doing YouTube is like doing a video, watching it, recapping it. Natalie spends all the time editing it. And I'm not shitting. I really, truly think this is funny. And you put out videos on YouTube to get subscribers, right? You want people to like your shit and be like, oh, that's so funny. These guys are great. I'm subscribed. The best part of YouTube, no joke, the funniest part is you put out a video and you get -1 subscriber. Like it's funnier than -2. It's funnier than 6 subscribers. It's the funniest thing that YouTube does and it's like our next gen got 1,500 views. That's not bad for us. Pretty good. -1 subscriber. So as funny as I think that is, the people that work hard on this show, they don't.
Yeah, we're not
We have
laughing.
a different sense of humor.
It's happened like 3 times. I like it, but I got that kind of humor. So yeah, we're going back to the quick dips on the next gen.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
enjoy
'cause
this
we can't
show.
lose anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I barely
we
watched
can't-
this.
yeah.
Just for that. Just to make sure it was a quick dip. If I watched it anymore, it would have gone too long.
Yeah, we would have been floated into the deep end.
So you are welcome, America.
So we're staying in the kiddie pool, making this one quick, and if
And
you
then going
can
back to Love
subscribe
Island.
twice to get one back, do that. All right.
All right, listen, if we're doing a quick dip, I'm the fucking train leader here, and you two better fall in line. And when I say we're out of a scene, we're out of a scene.
Okay.
Okay. We start off. This top of the show is so quick. Okay, it's Brooks and his family doing that
Ayahuasca
weird
trip.
thing at some like experimental museum, and all it just hammered home is that he's got a really adorable relationship with his parents. Brooks is growing on me more and more every episode. I think he is just a sweetie pie poo. And I also, this episode, I was like, oh my God, you are also turning into a very handsome man. Like he's going to be a real looker. You got anything? Speak now, forever hold it.
I didn't watch the Housewives of the Salt Lake Cities. So like, I'm sure people will be like, oh, you don't understand. And that's fine. I don't. But I think, and we can get into it a little bit later. I think the thing that's creeping out about this show that's super interesting to me, aside from how, again, broken record, like how just great communication these kids are, is that like Charlie's dad was didn't stick around, kind of a dick, whatever.
It's fine.
Neglected him, whatever.
Doing great.
And
I would too.
And Brooks, I'm not saying, I don't blame him, but Brooks's dad and parents, the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So it's super interesting to see what happens, like in one case scenario, where you have a grown kid that's from a super over nurturing family, and a grown kid that's from a super neglectful
Brooks is the
family.
result of like, oh, you put sugar in this cake to bake it. And Charlie is the result of, oh, you put salt in this cake to
or
bake
a flourless cake, something
It's
like
just,
that.
it's bad.
But I'm not like, listen, obviously Brooks is the winner. And like, I'm like, maybe you guys did a better job. But at the same time, I'm also getting to the point where I'm like, okay, it's a little much though,
I'm okay with
for
it.
me, as we
He's-
discussed in
yeah.
the last, it's a little much for
For
me.
you, yeah.
Thank you, Jen O'Toole. But so I just like, I don't know. I was a latchkey kid. So there's a little part of me that's like, oh, why are you guys hanging out so much?
I
Go be
love
friends
it.
with Lexi Wood from Summer House, You love it.
I do. Yeah. I also hung out a lot with my family though. So maybe that was
Yeah, weirdo.
Boring.
Yeah.
we had family
loser.
fun day every Sunday.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
Totally.
Yeah, don't shit on my family fun day every Sunday. Okay.
Whatever.
All right. Well, speaking of families, we now go into the train wreck that is
Ay.
Charlie's parental unit.
But we're skipping Charlie's fucking weed den of like.
No, it's not happening. Oh, that,
right,
that little
where he's
scene
like,
of- yeah.
I have a quick tip. I know we're going quick. For any of you out there that are like studying up because you want to be a reality superstar, love that for you. quick tip as someone who works in television, if you're going to be a dick, then you can't ask production for favors. Like, you got to be cool, and then you can tell the
Yeah.
producers and the camera guys, like, hey, do me a favor, bro. Like, don't get the fucking weed in my dirty ass plate from that. And they'll be like, yeah, dude, you're cool. We got you. If you're a dick, they're going to be like, okay, bro. Hey, get the plate over here. Hey, someone throw some laundry on the ground. Yeah, come in the bed. You can't be
Charlie,
a dick.
this is your weed, right? Oh, yeah, that's mine over there.
So you can't be a dick and ask
Next
for
to my
favors.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Who's still getting weed in Ziploc bags?
I don't know, but I'm not going to lie. I miss it.
I don't.
No, I love going into the store and everything's labeled and you've got experts.
Yeah, here's
in
your
the
single
field.
dose of anything and everything.
Sleep, party. A sleep
Or a
party.
sleep party. Fuck party.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we get to the lunch with Charlie, his dad, Anwar, and Talia, the dad's girlfriend. It's like one of those, like, the bomb goes off and then the next bomb goes off and then there's just bombs everywhere. You can't save yourself from this shitstorm of like how this guy seems like a real bummer. First of all, the way he spoke to the waiter, I am not fucking cool with that. You do not treat people that are serving on, waiting on you like shit. That's the biggest pet peeve for me.
Question though, did he do that before or after they got his order wrong?
He was not the warmest when he placed the order. And then when they got it wrong, he was a real dick. Like, he's never messed something up in his life. Like, oh, hey, actually, this is just the wrong dressing. I had asked for X, Y, and Z. I remember years ago, I was on a date with a guy and he had a drink that looked like water. And so but it was a cocktail. So every time the busser came over, he kept putting water in his drink. And
It's my Sprite people, you know where we're at, man. Shit
Yeah,
happens to
this
us
happens
all
to
the
Sprite people
time.
also.
What happens to iced tea people? Stop
the
putting more tea
time.
in, then I have to get more suggies.
yeah. But like, they were giving him, and by the way, he was almost done with the drink every time the guy came over. That's why he was putting more water in it. And they would give him a fresh tequila drink for free. It was like a $30 drink that they just kept giving him for free. And he got so mad at this dude. He's like, God, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what's wrong with you, bro? Sorry, as I spit everywhere. What's wrong with you? Like, you're just such an asshole. And I just feel like that's Charlie's dad.
Yeah.
And my big overarching note for this scene was just, if you're a parent out there, I know I'm not a parent, but I get to have this opinion on it. I can have an opinion on anything I want. It's free country.
You have a podcast.
Exactly. So it must mean I'm right. And because I have a platform.
Yeah.
If you are the parent, you are never, ever, ever in competition with your child. Who's better looking? It's the cornhole thing. It's betting him on who's right with like a fun little wager, a funny little, oh, he gets his good looks from his dad, where you're complimenting your child and also throwing yourself a compliment. Fine. But Charlie's dad is in constant competition with him. And it's so messed up. You don't think?
Listen, I don't think Charlie's dad is in competition with Charlie at all. Like, I don't think Charlie's dad I think he would laugh in your face at the even thought that Charlie is a competition for him, right?
But wait, then what do you take, like, when he shows up to the house and he's like, I'm better looking, right? Or like the cornhole thing, like, haha, yeah, I won. Like, don't you feel that's competitive?
Yes, but he's just I think could possibly be a degenerate gambler.
The dad.
Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know what degenerate. I don't know what classifies a degenerate. Maybe if you're so rich you can afford to gamble, like maybe you're just a gambler.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You gamble a lot.
Yeah,
Degenerate is like you've lost your house, I
yeah,
guess.
totally. Like, if you're rich, fuck it. So, but like, the guy just seems like he needs to compete, he needs to gamble, he needs to win, he needs to constantly win. I don't know if he truly believes anyone's competition, though.
No,
you know what I'm
fine,
saying?
fine. But he's still, in the spirit of what you're saying, he's still competing with his son.
Yeah,
There's still a
yeah.
win-loss component to it. And I just think that is disgusting behavior from a parent.
I think you're right. I'm on the fence with the food thing. Like, I'm 100% with you on don't be mean to servers. Like, don't be mean to anybody, really. But like, don't be mean to servers. That job sucks a lot of the time. That being said, the service industry's kind of so fucked lately. And we have a friend, Jen Heitler, she's one of our best friends. But I've known her since I moved to LA. First job I got, she was there. I've known her since day 5. She lives in Texas now, but we would go out all the time. And I'm one of those people that's like, oh, hey, can I get fettuccine alfredo with chicken, please, and the broccoli? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And they'll bring me like a mushroom, freaking veggie, no gluten. Like they'll bring me your order,
Yeah.
no offense. And
Yeah.
I'll be like, this, I'll just eat it. You know, spinach, pasta. It can't be that bad, right? It'll be disgusting, but I would just eat it. Jen, they would bring her like the thing, and then one of the broccolis wouldn't look right. And I'm not shitting on Jen. I fucking love Jen, but Jen would be like, excuse me, sir. Not that literal, but
Yeah.
like it's going back, right? And one day I was like, dude, you just fucking, if that shit's not right, you just whip it back. Like, who gives a shit? Just eat it. And she's like, just eat it. We're here. Look around. Like, we're having a experience. We're all out to dinner. We were young. We had just moved to LA. So we didn't have a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, we went to dinner, and not $30 at the time. That was like something,
Yeah.
right? She's like, my grandfather taught me, if you're at a restaurant, the whole point of like they started this, they opened this restaurant, they spent their money, they're paying these people. I'm paying you to get a dinner. Like, I want this. You said you can provide this. I'm giving you money to provide this. Provide it. Like, what? Why would I not? Like, and she wasn't, it just was like I don't understand. Would you go buy a car and they give you a motorcycle and you're fine with that? Like, it didn't make any sense to her. And that's when it kind of clicked for me. I still don't think I would send something back
No,
unless it
I
was
think we
crazy.
wish that we would.
I wish
be
I
more
would.
like that.
Yeah.
Like how like I drink Diet Coke and I drink it like I'm gonna die tomorrow, and I probably will.
Please, no, we've had enough
Dude.
deaths in the family this
yeah,
year.
yeah. But like just the last 3 times we've gone out to eat, it has been like, I guess no one's refilling anything anymore. I get like, and
Yeah,
I don't
not
mean
big.
like stopping by and just doing it. I mean, you ask, oh yeah, I'll be right back. And they never show up. And I'm a thirsty person. I like to drink, eat, drink, eat, drink. Like it's my thing. I don't know. Maybe other people can just drink water. It doesn't do it for me. So there's a massive problem. Nobody does dick all anymore. Service totally sucks.
It does suck.
And he was so specific. I'm not saying that
so-
guy's not a total dick,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the way that he was like, this is what are you listening? Here is what I want. Very specific. Okay, got it.
And that
100%.
didn't
Get it?
that
Get
didn't look
it?
like a fucking Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean?
No, no,
like
no,
they're
but I
spending
also
a
think
couple
when-
$100 on lunch, and he told him in a fine way. It wasn't
He told
nice
him in
or
a fine
not
way, totally.
nice, and it was wrong. So now, like I asked you, I explained exactly how I wanted it. You didn't fucking listen, and you came back and brought me some bullshit. Like, so now I'm going to be a little more firm. I didn't hate that.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Listen,
didn't love it, but I wasn't like super mad at it.
I don't think if the order is wrong, I don't think you eat it. I think you send it back. I think you like. I'm not saying to eat I'm not or eat. If they bring me a steak, I'm not going to eat it. You
I'll
know what
eat
I mean?
it.
Just because you can have
Yeah,
my
I
steak
can
and
have
all of your
it.
weird broccoli Alfredo dish, disgusting. Anyway,
good.
point being is that I just thought I think the first mistake, like throw the guy a bone and just be like, hey, actually, I ordered the dressing a little different. You know what? I just thought he was a little curt. And if I'm painting the picture, it's not one isolated moment. It's like he shit on his son multiple times.
Yeah, totally.
He's super
Yeah,
cold.
you're
I
right.
just think that this is indicative of who this dick is.
The thing I
there's
was-
just not a lot wrong with competition.
Are you gonna do this? Just fucking flaunting
I will never
the
hate on competition. I
championship
will never
rings?
hate on a dude that gives his son everything in the world to succeed, times a bajillion more than anybody else gets to succeed. And the kid just continues. I'm just going to smoke a bunch of weed and then show up, and then I'll just have whatever he's having. And
Dude, that was
I'll
a bit-
never feel
yeah,
bad
dude,
for this
order
kid.
some- yeah.
But the kid
Nah,
is this way because of his dad.
Is he? Or is
100%.
he-
I think his dad was awful to him as a child. Like, I think that this is not a
What
guy.
does the sister say? Is the
Una?
sister, was
I don't
she
know. We haven't heard
treated
from
this
Una
way?
yet.
I think that we get into it later in the episode too. Is like, yes, he's a byproduct of his environment, but as all the young smart kids are saying, he's like 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
So,
he needs
like,
to fix his shit.
Yeah,
No.
and like Riley said, like, listen, it's fine that you have it's fine. Yeah, shit happens, man. Being a parent is hard. Having kids is hard. Not everybody's equipped for it, but they end up with a couple kids. Like, that shit's fucking hard, right? Some kids genetics. Some kids turn out crazy, some kids turn out fine. Like, but it is your responsibility at a certain point to be like, all right, this happened. I got to figure out how to get through life, because right now life is a struggle. I'm fighting with all my friends. I can't seem to sustain a relationship or a job or a career. My dad's still paying for me. Maybe he doesn't want me around, and that's why he like you got to fucking do something.
Come on, like this whole thing. Don't take the money. Move out. Don't take the money. Don't take your what is it? What do you give someone?
Allowance.
Oh, right. I couldn't remember it because at 30 years old, like that's not a thing anymore. That's what I got for like picking the weeds and doing the dishes in high school, so I could go buy like fucking new Nikes if I wanted to. Like, everything this kid is accepting and then complaining about all the things that come with it, like, then don't take it. You know what the biggest fuck you to your dad would be? I don't want your money. I don't want your tutelage. I'm not going on your trips. I'm out. I'm doing my thing and I don't need your shit. But now it's this whole it's like this cycle over and over and over again, because this kid doesn't want to do anything for himself. He wants to gamble all of his money in cryptocurrency and live elsewhere in a high rise that his dad pays for because he doesn't want me at home. You know how, but it usually happens when a parent doesn't want you at home. You get kicked out and to fend for yourself. Like, God, I wish that my parents didn't want me at home that much.
I think on the contrary, the biggest fuck you to his dad is doing nothing, smoking weed, continuing to take this money.
Oh, maybe so, yeah.
Right? Like if Charlie did say, I don't need your money, I'm doing my own thing, the crypto thing worked out, or I got a thing, I'm doing this, his dad would be like, you fucking did. Finally, you figured out how to win. I've been trying to get you, like, not properly I'm trying to teach you how to win your whole life, and you can't figure it out. Well, you're not teaching him how to win. You're teaching him how to lose, because you're not the dad. You're the dad that's like, I don't give a fuck how old you are. I'm playing full court press.
He never was the kid that let you win. The dad that let you win.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not gonna like ever. So like, cool, that's great. I'm not hating on that, but just know you're not teaching him how to win. You're just teaching him how to lose.
Yeah.
Right?
So these two deserve each other.
Gross.
Here's the thing. We said this last week about Charlie because he's, prime, and what's that? Prime enemy number one, prime suspect number one. Whatever, he's on our shit list. He's a top tier shit list, okay?
Yeah, he's running the show. You don't belong
100%.
here. This isn't in your bag.
He's totally the blight on this show.
Yeah.
100%. And we said it last week. You are an adult. You need to fix your behavior. You need to get your life going. This is not on your parents anymore because, like we just said, you're an adult.
Yeah.
With that being said, if we're looking at this from a holistic place, we can't not say, like, he is this way because of the way the parents bake the cake. That's it. Now, it's not an excuse for him to be this way. He should have fixed this behavior as a young adult because he has the ability to see all the different therapists, healers, whatever it is. You were afforded the luxury of being able to get help.
Yeah.
And you have actively decided to not only not take it, but dig your heels into this really crappy behavior. And the only person that's going to suffer from it is you, Charlie. So when you cut off your nose to spite your face, it's your face.
Yeah.
And so, like, he just hasn't learned that lesson, because now this is where his dad comes into play, because you give your kids enough to do something, not enough to do nothing.
Yeah.
And if he really wanted to be a good parent, he would cut him off completely and say, I have paid for a world-class education. You have been afforded more luxuries than most people that work their tits off their entire life. And the best gift I can give you now is to kick you out of the fucking nest and say, figure it out, champ.
Yeah.
Like when the day I graduated college, my parents were like, and by the way, they paid for me to go to college.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to make all the money that I spent there, but I looked at my friends who were on student loans, working a job and going to school and doing all this. Like, I was so fucking lucky. And the fact that I even got all of that to then get out to Los Angeles, and my parents would be like, say, peace, figure it out. You can do this. It's honestly the greatest gift they could have given me, because now there's nowhere. I will always figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't have Charlie-itis because I have had to figure it out, and Charlie will never succeed. He will be living in the proverbial, family guest house forever. he's doing just enough to get his allowance, which is so sad because then you will never see or reach your full potential.
If he
Yeah.
doesn't change.
And then to
If he
gamble
doesn't,
it on
if he doesn't change,
cryptocurrency.
if he changes, the world is your oyster, dude, because you are connected. I'm sure your dad knows a lot of people. I'm sure you know a lot of people. You've got
Doesn't
this show.
seem dumb. He seems witty, and you got to
You
be a
are
little
not
bit
dumb.
smart to be witty.
But like, take this as your warning. Like, shots fired. That's the warning shot over the bow.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go back to, like, listen, I know that there's crypto's not like I love when Georgia later says about, crypto's so anarchist. The fucking president has his own coin. How anti-government and
No,
really
she
living
said
on
later,
the fucking edge is this anymore? Like,
But she did say later that she's trying to be funny and like talk herself into like.
Yeah.
She
Being
did
a
a
finance
she
guy.
wasn't serious about crypto being
No.
okay.
She was like, I think maybe I'm just more like saying that to talk myself into making it okay that I'm with a fucking crypto guy.
Yeah.
If
A
Charlie
finance dude.
does
Yeah, okay.
succeed, even if Charlie hits it so big, like just like one of those random things that something in the global
Oh my
world
God,
happens,
that would be the
that
worst
crypto
thing.
shoots through the fucking moon and like he becomes a bajillionaire, your dad will still be like, you got lucky. Good for you, loser. You gambled and everybody hits it once.
Even
you
a
know?
broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. And so like you're almost picking something that like will still not be the thing that gets him to say, good job, champ. Just so because you're so living in this. You're so used to living in this like, oh, I can't do anything right. Oh, like, well, he doesn't say anything that's nice. Oh, I could count more things that he said horrible. The times that he said something nice to me, I could count way easier than I could the times that he said rude things to me.
Yeah.
Like
They
you've found some comfort in this, like in this swamp you're in, and like
It's his identity
Godspeed,
now.
dude.
That's,
Yeah.
It is his identity.
Yeah.
I did laugh at that when they were like, can you remember a time that your dad said something that made you
something hurtful.
That just said something hurtful, and he was like, "Are you kidding me? I'd have a harder time trying to think of something he said that didn't hurt my feelings."
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Yeah, he
Um,
loves that for himself.
Our next scene is Ava talking to her dad on FaceTime, which is kind of a nothing burger. I mean, she's just explaining to him what he has. And
Yeah.
I guess we're meeting our new character, Damon Dash.
Yeah.
I will say that my only note for this one is I do like how they're incorporating the parents on
I do
this
too.
show.
I think a lot of people don't, but I do.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's smart from a production point of view because this is how you get like an older audience because they're like, oh, I know Damon Dash. He's on this show. Or, I watched
Yeah.
Salt Lake Housewives. And I do actually, Ava said it, and I thought it was so cute. She was like, it is such a good feeling to serve tea to someone who is sad. And it's true. Like, when you've got a great fucking piping hot cup of tea and you call up your bestie and you're like, you are never gonna believe what I heard while I was at the grocery store today. And they're like, wait, hold on. I gotta turn off my TV. I need to sit down. Okay, go. And like, she clearly has that relationship with her dad.
Yeah.
And I think it's adorbs.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you guys have anything you want to add to that? Or do we want to jump into Georgia and Omar talking biz?
I mean, just listen. I'm going to say this, and people are going. I don't know. I'm not going to really worry too much about people's past. Maybe I just want to highlight positive things. I don't know why. Like I'm going to say this, and I just have this gut feeling that somebody's going to be like, did you know that Damon Dash XYZ? And I'm going to be like, no, I didn't. And that sucks, but whatever. When he was like, hold up. He was aggressive to you. How's his relationship with his mom? And she was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, does he hate women? Like it wasn't like, what? I thought he was going to be like, give me the fucking, I'll go talk to that kid. But he didn't. He was like, what's the deal with his mom? How's that? Like he just knew right away. Okay, I know what this problem is. I'm asking these questions. This is where you guys need to sort that out.
I wonder if, because there is some hullabaloo about like the restraining order that Rachel Roy got against him, could have been some violent actions taken, whatever. And
Oh,
listen,
really? I didn't know that.
that's what I like, bits and pieces of something that I read. Like maybe I don't know. It wasn't good. How about that? Because he didn't see his kids for a minute, and she moved to the West Coast and blah blah blah. But what I will say is, and we always talk about this, like we we not only leave space for the better behavior and for people to change, we encourage it.
Mhm.
Like, we're coming down so hard on Charlie, but then following it up with like, but it doesn't have to be this way. Change, surprise us, be the
Yeah.
hero that season 2 deserves, that you fucking deserve for your life. Screw the show. Be the best version of yourself for you, right?
The only reason that we are so hard on him is because he's so horrible to the people that are really trying to do good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's bullying them.
100%.
And nobody
Yeah.
likes a fucking bully. When I see a bully, I just want them to set themselves on fire. That's it. End of story. So like, if he were just a random person that like I didn't see him inflicting all of his own pain onto,
Yeah.
which I get, hurt people, blah, blah, I don't fucking care. Step aside then. Stay home. Maybe don't go out with the 20-year-olds, you old man.
So back to Damon Dash. I think possibly the way he was speaking in that conversation, I was like, oh, like your business is out there. People know that this was a really, at the very least, contentious divorce where you probably said some not so great things about your ex-wife. But clearly, like, you have done work and gone to therapy, and like, and that's what I heard. I'm just hoping like there was all that growth there for him, because it
Yeah.
seems like he does respect women, at least at this juncture in his life, and I really like the relationship he has with Ava.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought George's boyfriend was so, whether she stays with him or not, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is just weird enough for you. Like, you and this guy, Omar, that's, if you put all of central casting in front of me, this is who I'm putting you with. Did you not?
Yeah. I mean, they don't make any sense.
That's
together.
right.
Yeah.
And that's why they're perfect.
Yeah. No, I'm into it.
Because
too.
she makes no sense. Like when she's sitting up there with the whiteboard and she's just like, well, actually, we're not there yet. This is just them eating lunch and talking about doing business together, which is, Georgia is out of her mind and I fucking love it.
Yeah. No, I like Georgia a lot too. No,
I
you
don't. I don't not like her. I do, and I just am like, I'm having a little bit of, I don't know if it's PTSD or if it's like, what is it when you get suckered into something real quick and then you
A cult?
no, like the experience, like it's not
A
PTSD, but
whirlwind?
like you get suckered into something and then you realize like, ooh, I might have jumped into that a little too quick, and
A
you
cult.
okay.
Listen, she's
I've been
eccentric.
sucked into a cult.
She's eccentric. She's an interesting character. There's no one like her until she does something that is just like fucked
All
up to
those
someone.
things.
Like
Yeah.
I can't see why I wouldn't like her.
Yeah, I'm still in the same place with Georgia right now. I'm getting closer to the car ride where we break down and get stuck on the side of the road on the way to the Hamptons, and it's just the two of us for 4 hours waiting for AAA.
Yeah.
And like, that's when I find out about her death, and we're like all these things like that I said earlier about Charlie, and I'm like, there's something going on. Georgia, like I feel, and they're all starting to
Starting
come
to
out
happen.
now, right? So I'm getting closer to agreeing to the car ride, but I'm still like, you guys sure you don't have an extra spot in your, like, I'm still probably going to
Yeah.
go with fucking Brooks and you know, whoever. That's where I'm at with Georgia. It is like, she is fucking New York City.
To her core.
Like over, like she said, that's 4 generations of New York City. Like, I imagine that's who Timmy grew up with, that girl all day long.
And, she wanted to go to like the Whitney when she was like 8 years old with her
Yeah,
mom to see
yeah.
like a new exhibit that she found
Yeah.
out like of online.
I don't not like her. I'm getting closer to liking her, but like I said, it happened. It happened with this show, and it happened with Love Island, where I was like, these fucking kids are the most amazing kids in the whole world. I can't believe Ariana, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get to it, but I think Ariana, I'm like, whoa, dude, you're exhibiting some elder behavior at the end of the episode, where I was like, so I'm just like, and then Love Island, the first couple weeks, I was like, these kids are the best. And now I'm like, you're all fucking, you just snowed me. Like, I just got the wool pulled over my eyes by a bunch of 22-year-olds. So I'm having that where I'm like, I need to just eat, like, beep, tap the brakes a little. I love everything. But I'm
Okay,
like,
but then what? Like, because listen, but they're all still at the end of the day people, and we will be fallible, all of us.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing so much better than generations prior,
gabillion.
right? And I think the next scene is a perfect example of that with Ariana and Riley when they sit down, and this is when Riley said what you just brought up.
Yeah.
They're talking about Charlie, and she's like, I get that your childhood was really hard, but that's your childhood, and you're an adult now, and like you then have to make yourself better in the ways that maybe like the adults that failed you didn't. And I was like, God, I fucking love Riley. I was here for her from jump, and I really
Yeah.
like, I want to be friends with
Yeah,
her.
no, 100%. But like that same token, I felt the same way about Ariana, and she was kind of a dick. Like she wasn't like
Well, we'll
that.
get there because I have
No,
thoughts on
here
it.
too.
Oh, you think
Like
here?
Riley was way more evolved than because wasn't this where she was started bringing up the like, oh, if we need to tilt a wig, we'll do, and like
Shift a wig.
shift
yeah.
a wig, which I didn't know about, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that needs to be on a shirt. I'm
I
sure
think it
has
is.
been,
Yeah.
But like that's the road she went down. Was like, if I need to fucking shift a wig for my girl with this motherfucker, I would. And I'm being a little more
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
aggressive,
yeah.
but like that's a vibe I got from her, and it was the first time, like, I guess out of the bar when it was, but like when it was Charlie, I'm like, yeah, fucking smoke this dude, right? With Riley, and then this, I was like,
But
this
can I-
doesn't, and then right next to Riley, who's sitting there being like, what we need to do, like, yeah,
Professor
no,
Riley.
yeah, like that, no, what she's saying, you're saying dumb shit, like, listen to this girl, like, so
But
it
can I
just
ask you a question about this?
threw me for a second.
Okay. Because I think that, again, I'm with you. Ariana has said some things. We're like, no, you're not your mom. You're not.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
don't-
That's not
yeah.
you. But then when she actually is confronted with the situation and does handle it face to face with Charlie, obviously it's later in the episode and we don't get to see how all of it played out. Do you think that she comes in the same way that she talked about it privately? Does that make my
Who,
question?
Riley?
Like, do you think Ariana came at Charlie when she was coming face to face with him the same way she was talking about it like privately, when she's like, why is he being a dick? You know,
Wait, when did she come to face with him?
remember when they were standing outside the club and she was like, I just don't know why you're being like such a dick, bro. Like, my point is, I think I'll just tell you what I think is going on, and you can tell me if you agree with me or not. I think she gets all like, I'll shift a wig if I have to, but then when she sees Ava, she's like, why did you go in so hard on my branding? You don't know anything about it. She wasn't like, hey, bitch.
Because she did it for fucking 15 minutes in the
that's my
bathroom
point.
with
She
Gia.
did it in the bathroom behind closed doors, right? Like how she
But
would
she
with her
did it
friends.
on the booth in the booth right before.
But when she
had an
confronted,
attitude.
she did it. She did. But she didn't come in hot to the person being like, I'm going to take my fucking hoops out and we're going to fight. But so you feel differently.
I do.
Okay.
I don't think she came in hot, but it was a little snot, like my brand. Like, bro, you're meeting with Ron to figure out what the fuck you're even supposed to do. And I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that these kids are like, we don't know, but we want to know.
Yeah.
We're going to set up these meetings. And like, sure, maybe mom set it up. Maybe they got, but like, do you know how many Nepo babies get fucking all this and they don't do dick with
That's
it?
Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. So like, at least they're going and they're taking the meetings and they're doing their dumb elevator pitch that's 15 minutes long because she doesn't really know what an elevator. But that's exactly how this shit is supposed to happen. That's how it's supposed to happen. You're supposed to stumble around and do 15-minute elevator pitches the first time someone asks you and talk about every sweater you ever thought would look cool on you. And you're like,
And how you love hearts.
yeah, like, cause you're just like, I don't know. And Ron's supposed to be like, okay, time out, you dummies. Like, this is, but Ron did this too.
Yes.
40 years ago when he came to New York as a dumb little kid. Like, and look at him now. So
Yeah.
No,
like,
you're giving it. You're paying it for Ron. You're paying it forward to Ron. Ron has waited to have this moment because everybody that's ever done anything like this remembers when they went to pitch something and realized it was the dumbest pitch ever, but
Totally.
but it was the most brilliant pitch while you were walking in.
yeah.
But when you left there, you were like, "Oh
an
my
idiot.
God,
But
I
you
cannot
learned
believe I couldn't answer
everything.
one of those questions in a single sentence."
And what did she say? We got to get our shit together. Like,
love
it's time.
that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I'm all in on those moments. And I love that they're doing, but like I just did like the tilt-a-wig.
No,
The
I'm with you.
shift-a-wig, I'm seeing a little too much shift-a-wig, and it might only be because Ava was being a dick in the most respectful, sweetest way I've ever seen anyone be a dick. Like, I think she was probably just being like, really? She's like, like, and granted, like, yeah, Ariana's been in a fucking hotel for the last however many weeks. Her shit's not here. It's probably in store. Like, so give her some time to get her fucking shit out and like go out on the town before you make some comments like that. But it also was just like, Nana and I always have this problem of like, one of us will say something and it's 50-50. Like we could have meant this, we could have meant that. I meant this. Natalie thought I meant that. Natalie meant that. I'm like, no, you for sure meant that. Like it's all the time, right? And we're never like, okay, well, yeah, I could see how you thought I meant that, but it's always like, no, dummy, why would I say that? So I think that like,
So is Ariana triggering you?
no, I think that Ava's thing was that Ava being like, she wants to start a brand. Like that was a kind of a 50-50 thing where you're like, you could have been like, dang, that was a pretty fucking dick thing to say.
Yeah.
Or it's just Ava kind of thing to say,
No, I hear you. And listen, do I wish
That being said, the way Ariana I thought was like, whoa, dude, calm down. So again, just to finish, not to interrupt.
of course.
But like seeing all these kids, the Rileys, the Brookses, the George, like they're just all so good at communication. And then to see one that's just flailing and screaming and shift-a-wigging, that's gonna be my new verb now. Is I'm like, ugh, stop
Listen,
acting like us.
No, I'm with you. Do I wish she didn't say any of that, or if she was having those feelings, she clearly knows how to exercise her emotions in a different way. Do I wish she did that? Absolutely. I think I'm, for this moment, not going to come down super hard on her about it, just because I think when she does actually get face to face to confront the person, she's not doing it in that housewife way where they're coming in hot and it's DEFCON 1 from jump. So I want her to
100%.
adjust the behavior.
She's also not doing it in a Riley or an Ava or a Brooks way.
Correct.
Which is like,
that's the gold
where
standard.
we're striving
That's
for
exactly
now,
right.
like that's what I'm expecting.
Correct.
And the brand thing was a little snot. Like, again, you just came from Ron's. You don't have a brand yet.
Right. Like
So-
you guys just got an apartment.
Exactly.
Which was
Like,
sweet to see that they
also,
got
yeah.
it. And
But like, yeah, like to sit down and be like, can you explain what you meant by that? That's what Riley and Brooks
Yes.
and these guys, that's what they would have said. Can we talk about can you just explain what you meant by that?
totally.
Because I don't really know. And I'm trying, and hopefully we talked about that. Like, we don't know. Hopefully next week, that's where that conversation goes. It's like, listen, and Natalie said this. She's like, oh, God, I fucking hope that Ariana says, listen, I'm new. I don't know this is my dream. I love clothes. I'm learning. We just met with this guy.
Yeah.
I know that you have some experience. And she was like, I hope Ava's like, okay, cool. I can help you. I know my mom's a fashion designer. My dad started Ruckwear. I know people. I can help you. What do
Yeah.
you need? And that blossoms
I hope
into
that's
a
what happens
thing.
too.
That would be amazing. And I would be right back. I'm not out on Ariana. I just, again, it was the first time I was like,
I also think she was a
Okay.
little hot in that moment too because she was drinking. Again, not making an
Yeah,
excuse for her.
maybe.
I want her to nip this behavior in the bud. 100%.
yeah, the bathroom scene just is a little ick for me.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. We can break that down more when we get to the end of the episode because I have some other thoughts on it. But the next few scenes are a little tricky just because they're spliced between like a few different things. So let's just go into the car scene when we're driving out to Charlie's dad's house.
Yeah.
And it's where, Charlie talks about how he was in therapy a lot of his childhood. We learn about George's dad passing away when she was young, which I think it's like you're saying, like each breadcrumb we get really kind of explains why these kids are how they are. And the reason I joked, like, Georgia, will you be my therapist, is because I feel like from this, George is kooky. We know that, right? But like from this moment in the car to when we get to Charlie's dad's house and we see Charlie interacting with his dad, there were just so many moments that I thought that she so thoughtfully dissected about why Charlie is this way.
Mhm.
Shannon Falls said, does Georgia know she's in love with Charlie? Or she said something like that. Like,
Yeah, somebody said Riley
Yes.
about it, and then I think Shannon maybe was the one that was like, yeah, does Georgia know that she's in love with Charlie? And I was like, dude, somebody said that about Riley too. And she was like, "Oh my god, I hope not."
You know what I think is also kind
Georgia,
of
I
funny?
could see.
I
Riley,
think
don't
Charlie's in
think
love
so.
with Ava. I don't know if Georgia is in love with Charlie.
And I think that Ava is keeping Charlie thinking that he might have a shot, because I think that Ava knows the kind of money that Charlie has. And I think that Ava understands the value of money in this city.
Institutional wealth.
Exactly. It's also very natural if
Yeah.
you grow up in that city costs
Oh,
a kind of money that like people always compare LA and New York. They're so different finance wise.
different.
Like, yes, it's expensive here, but like anybody can find a spot, I think, in LA. If you can find
for a major city.
yeah,
for a major
city. Yeah. Anyone, you can find a spot here and figure it out. Like it would take some.
You're living in like a
real-
shoebox with no windows
yeah,
for
if you're
$2,500 if you're
you can
lucky
even
in New
find
York.
that,
That's
if somebody else hasn't already snatched it and whatever. So I think that's why Ava kind of is like, looks at him kind of with a, I can maybe.
Well, as your mom so wisely said, if you only date wealthy men, you're bound to fall in love with a wealthy man. And I think that Ava does kind of get that.
Yeah, she just got evicted from her apartment.
I saw.
So
What do you
like,
mean? Really?
I think she had like don't quote me, I think it was like a $10,000 a month place, and like I just wasn't paying the full amount, like was just kind of paying as she could, and then finally got evicted. That's what I think happened. Again, search it. I don't know.
I feel like that car ride was. I think Charlie forgets sometimes that, like, even though Georgia might not come from the money that you came from, Georgia can keep up with you. Like, you can't say certain
Georgia
things.
works her ass off
Works
too.
her ass
Yeah,
off.
so
Totally.
a gig's a gig
Yes.
for Georgia.
And works her ass off with and for people with Charlie's dad kind of money.
Yes.
Not Charlie's money.
Yes.
Charlie's dad.
I was
She throws
surprised that-
parties for Charlie's dad type of people.
Yeah.
You know?
I was surprised that they've never met before. I would have
And
kind of
Laura in Georgia.
I just kind of in my, you just make up things in your head that you just think
Yeah.
it, like they seem that good of friends. They seem so tight that she would be someone that he would bring to many events with the dad, because it'd be like a good buffer, because she's like
Yeah.
successful, but
Yeah.
still young and interesting, not successful in a way that's like humdrum, that Anwar would just be like, oh, that's boring, like in an inspirational kind of way. I kind of thought that he would have, used her more for, and not used her. That's just friend,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just
That makes
I
a
was
lot
just
of sense.
surprised to not see.
I couldn't tell if she was saying it to inform him or saying it to remind him. But when he was like, "Why were you in therapy for so long?" She was like, "Well, my dad died when I was young."
That's what I mean.
Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was her telling him that for the first time, or if it was her
I think it was more reminding, because he knows that her dad died. He has to. He might not have known that she went to therapy,
because of it.
but she's
Right.
got to have said that, my dad is passed. But at some point in their friendship, that's a wild thing if you've been friends with someone for a while to not.
That's what I mean. Like, are they friends? Are they that close?
I think they're close enough that they would know that. I just really quick to touch on what you said about the dad stuff, because they get obviously to Anwar's house, and the kids were sitting back having a conversation when Charlie and his dad were talking. And first of all, the conversation made me so sad, because I just think that Charlie's life and his relationship with his dad, the whole thing is just shrouded in pain and anger and sadness to me. And the fact that the kids were sitting there and they all pick up on it. And actually, there was a really cute moment where Brooks was like, I'm trying to like enmesh myself in this moment, but like it's hard for me because I just come from such a different place. My dad is so different. And then they literally cut to an interview, and apropos of nothing, Seth's like, I am so proud of you.
I know.
Everything you've ever done has made me the proudest person who's ever existed.
Yeah.
Pull my
Pull my
finger.
finger.
Like it's night and day. It's an iceberg and it's the sun,
Yeah.
But so Georgia even said, she was like, this makes me kind of uncomfortable or like sad to watch, because I know that he's this really just imposing figure in Charlie's life. And so I actually think the reason they've never met is because Charlie's like, I fucking hate my dad. Like, he sucks, whatever. I don't think he wants to really bring people around him, because he's probably shit talked his dad to all of them. He doesn't particularly like his dad. He even said, which again, like Charlie, it's like Ace in
Uncle Violin.
not Ace, Austin in Love Island, when he's like, I'm sick of being in this love triangle. And we all say, right, you can walk yourself out
Yeah,
of this
okay.
love triangle. And when Charlie said, I fear that I will never have peace with my dad until he dies. And listen, I get it. Like, parental relationships can haunt you even after they pass away. But like, this is in your control, where like you could go somewhere and talk to someone about the issues that you have with him and how to get as much healing as you can give yourself.
Yeah.
He just refuses to help himself. But whatever, and I'll shut up after I say this, and anyone can say what they want about this scene, but I did think it was really a light bulb moment. It was a Jen O'Toole moment for me. For those of us who don't watch our other breakdowns, we were talking about how Jen O'Toole said someone might seem needy until their needs get met in our comments. And when Georgia had said, I think Charlie's dad giving up on Charlie is why Charlie's given up on Charlie, I was like, that
hit.
that hit.
I know Natalie hates Charlie, but
Yeah, her
I'm
face
on
is
the
like, fuck
Just
off.
like, you know how he like compares he talks about how his dad is the dad from Succession, and then everybody gets it and they're like, oh yeah, oh that guy, okay, yeah. The similarities are there, but did you watch Succession?
No, I couldn't get into it.
The kids were the assholes. Like the dad was like, yeah, he was what he like. Sometimes I think that like there are certain people that get to the place that they get. Like it takes a fucking asshole to sometimes amass that much
God, yeah.
wealth and that much accomplishment, and just like build upon. Like you got to break up companies. You got to break up mom and pops to like. So there's something that comes with all of that. So like that's baked in, I think, of someone. Like not everyone, but like I would say a good chunk. If you're not that way, you have been fighting it your whole life. Like you're taking active steps to not be the dad in Succession. If you're amassing that kind of shit, I'm gonna fuck this part up because I just can't remember the specifics of it. Cause like I didn't really care about the business side of it. I was just it was how the business was going to be, the succession of the business, how it was all going to play out. So I can't remember exactly what was happening, but it seemed like they wanted to buy this other company, and they all had, become of age, and they were all getting their inheritance. They all owned a certain part of the big conglomerate that the dad had amassed. And so they were going to take all of that money and buy this other piece of property with it to merge with it. And this like just say it's worth $20 billion. That's what it's worth. That's what people are bidding on it. For whatever reason, like that lady doesn't want to sell it to you. She wants to sell to these other people. So they start bidding $40 billion on it. Just because they convinced themselves that this is what success, this is what
they're trying to make a name for themselves.
They're trying to make a name for themselves.
Like change the face of the company that their dad had built. It had run into, it was your typical Fox News or whatever news that had some
new guards here.
Yeah, like shady storyline, bad press and whatever,
Yeah.
HR issues. And they were like, we're going to change it and bring in the kids and bring in a whole new era.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Dad is watching all of this. I think he was trying to buy it himself on the side for probably the $20 billion that it was worth.
Yeah.
But his kids are now using his fortune's money to outbid him. And he's just looking at this going, I'm going to lose to these punks because I've given them all of this. I'm going to lose. And they are spending all this money. Like I have been in this business for my entire bajillion years of life, and I'm watching my kids who have just never figured it out spend all this, double the price, 50% more than it's worth, like, or 100%, whatever. That's why I don't do business. And he says to them, he calls them up and he's like, I feel like he says something like, you real happy because they win, they get to buy the thing. I hope that you're real happy. That's good for you. You guys real proud of yourselves. And he goes, let me tell you something. I love you. You are not serious people. And that was the line of the entire series for me. I love you. You are not serious people. And that's how I think that Anwar is looking at every single thing that Charlie does. I'm giving you all this rope. He shouldn't give it to them. The dad should have taken things back.
But that's the problem.
It didn't do that. But these kids, they had such the resume because they actually did 1,000 times more than Charlie did. Like Charlie does next to nothing. These kids actually were like very involved in politics, in building other companies, in taking and overseeing large parts of this big conglomerate. But so they had the resumes where like they could have gone to do like other companies would court them, but they could never leave daddy's come because this is going to be mine. It's huge. It's my birthright. Nothing is your fucking birthright. That's how I
That's
feel.
how I feel too.
Yeah. And so they could have gone to do these other things. Just as I see Charlie can go he can go elsewhere. He can work elsewhere. He can make his own money. He can build his own thing. You continue to make this choice. Yes, obviously it stinks from the head. This is all started from a certain place, but it continues on by your own fucking, you're pedaling your own bicycle now and right into the volcano. Like, I don't know. I will never ever see the dad as being a bigger problem than what the kid is choosing to do. And
Yeah, the only place, and listen, again, we keep saying this, like when you're an adult, you got to fucking adult and figure your shit out and all that kind of stuff. I think the kid wouldn't have been if not for the parent.
yeah,
And I sometimes, like, I'll never forget, I saw this episode of Real Housewives of New York where Bethany Frankel's stepdad wanted to meet up with her for the first time in years. And he was saying something to her, like, she saw a lot of messed up shit, self-admittedly. She talks about all of this. And she's like, I shouldn't have been around my mom being beaten with a phone and being dragged into a bedroom and cops outside. And he's like, well, your mom, listen, she did the best she could. She didn't even want to have a kid. And Bethany's like, but that's not my fault.
yeah,
And he's like, well, listen, I did my best with you. And like, we're here talking now. And Bethany goes, because I called you. And he goes, well, you should have. And she goes, I'm the child. I am the child. No matter what this relationship, like however old I get and however you get, I will always be the child. And I just think being a parent is the most important job that you cannot fuck up. And like, yes, of course, we all fuck up. We're all people. I just mean like fuck up in the ways that it seems like maybe Charlie's dad has. And don't get me wrong, Charlie annoys the piss out of me. He's an adult, fucking figure it out. But you can't ever underestimate how bad parenting can really like make us all as a universe pay for now a shitty adult's behavior.
agreed. Unless something unveils itself where he was literally beaten or neglected, where something massive happened to him and there was no one there to tell because they had all gone off on their own lives, unless that information presents itself, I will just never believe that a guy, the way that he, for me personally,
Yeah.
I will never be able to wrap my brain around how you continue to be the victim for your entire life. And
Agreed.
and, like,
I don't think that's what we're saying. Like to me, that's a separate issue. Like you're a perennial victim. You're only hurting yourself,
Yeah.
and you're not a victim. You're not a victim of anything in the sense of like you can fix this. Maybe something bad happened to you. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, you were a victim of bad parenting, but like now you're an adult. Figure that out. I'm just saying the parental component.
Yeah.
Just highlighting it. But I understand completely what you're saying. Okay, so then we get into the golf tournament, which again seems like another kind of like fluff filler scene that just Damon Dash is using this show as a marketing tool, which I'm not that mad at. It's not that offensive.
I liked it. Me and Pat liked it. Me and Pat Clark enjoy. This was our favorite scene.
Did you not LOL when Brooks starts screaming like, I can't be out in this. It's goose down. Because it was raining.
Also, and Pat can back me up here, the amount of times that your phone has slipped out of the golf cart on the golf carts and you freak out and telling your buddy like, dude, fuck, I gotta turn around. And then a couple minutes after having a full blown meltdown, you look and you're like, oh, never mind. It's in the little cubby. Right there. It happens. I have, there's these little things, range finders, they call them. They're like, tells you how far your yardages are, a little laser beam deal. And they are not inexpensive. And so people get them and they beep, and then they don't hook them back on their bag, or they'll leave them in the car. They'll leave them on the grass or whatever.
Oh,
And then you're out a lot of money.
how much are they? Roughly?
They're like a cheap one is like a cheap one's like $200, $250, and then they'll get up to $700-800 for like a super fancy that has good slope and wind and all that shit. But I have one, and I was like the third day that I had it, and I for some reason laser beamed, put it in a different pocket in my golf bag that I never put it in, and went the next hole, went to like search in the thing and was like, oh shit, I think I left it on whatever hole, and told these guys like, I figured I gotta go, and drove back, drove all up and down, trying to find it, asking every group behind me, did you find a rangefinder? Did you find a rangefinder? And it was like it dead center in the fairway. What's up, Pat? That's how I drive. But like, so it wasn't like in the rough or anything. It wasn't a weird place. And it was, I finally gave up and was so pissed and so just like, what an idiot. How could you fucking do that? And then finally found it in a different
That's
pocket.
such a good
But
feeling.
the amount it was, the dudes were, I was playing with 3 random guys. They literally, no random dudes have made fun of me more than these guys did, and it was so funny. It's a classic golf course story that you are
Tale as old as
100.
golf.
Yeah, tale as old as golf. You're 100%. You lost something, but you didn't. It's somewhere. It's there.
I don't know. I've been noticing the editing on the show is like very choppy with stuff. And I'm wondering if because younger generations don't have attention spans, that they just keep like breaking back and forth between stuff.
Yeah,
Because
us youngsters.
yeah, you could tell us, Nat. Is that why they're doing it?
When they do the text messages on the screen,
Yes.
Grampy has to pause. I cannot read them that fast.
No, no one can.
The kids can?
What?
Yeah, I think they can.
Oh, I can't. But what I think was just weird because the next scene is Omar and Georgia talking about doing business together when now she's really into bowling. It's this middle America thing that's becoming very big coastally, which I don't even think is a word, but like I'm here for it. It's just so funny because I feel like that was just a continuation of their lunch, but then we've had all these other scenes and now we're talking about bowling. And this is what cracks me up about Georgia. She's so out there, right?
Yeah.
That you're talking about bowling like you just got back from Europe in the 50s and you're like, oh my God, there's this game called bocce, or like bocce ball. And we're going to play it at the club.
Yeah.
I got a set. I brought it home in my carry-on. Like bowling is not this revolutionary thing. They've already kind of rebranded bowling with like the Lucky Strike bowling
Yeah,
places.
and it's
where you can
gotten
get-
totally gross again. Like,
Full
is-
circle.
Yes.
yeah, it's overpriced, and the drinks are $9,000
So
a piece,
expensive.
and like it's not cool. There's no exclusivity to it. It really is a come one, come all, which seems to be the opposite of what George is trying to put on.
But this is why I think George is such an interesting character because she will either take this wild idea that's already been ideated. Okay, like
Yeah.
we've already done this. We came, we saw, we bowled. And it will be a complete flop. And then everything that Georgia does is just kind of like she's a legend in her own mind. She
Yeah.
rented out Katz's, threw a party. And it's like, okay, you had a pastrami party. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't the fucking greatest party ever known to
Yeah.
man. Or maybe she is this nuts and she will reinvent bowling for the 3rd time.
I think it's that because I think like in the first or second episode when her and Ava and Charlie went to have lunch, and she was like, I'm trying to match your aura, and Charlie was like, aura, and she's like, aura's the new vibe. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you're that kid who will pull that off.
Yes.
Because you're just so quirky and fucking
I didn't know that
weird.
Aura ever left. I feel like we say it all the time.
I mean, I do. But I'm
Yeah.
a hippie, so
like
it
Georgia,
never left
this
me.
word is not. It's just Aura. It's not
Maybe
new for
Georgia
anything. It's the
is a
same as it ever
master.
was. Same as it ever was.
Maybe Georgia is a master rebrander.
in her own mind, I think.
So our next stop on our train tour of Next Gen is Ava's lunch with Charlie to talk about like the apology and what he did wrong and like why she was ignoring him and didn't go to the house, which I liked that Ava didn't go to the house. And then they have like a flashback to Charlie's time in Dumbo with Riley. And I'm curious if you guys believe Charlie's apology this 3rd time around. But I think for me, the headline of this chunk of the episode was, again, my Princess Riley. I love that she made the connection that Charlie's not racist. Charlie's not raging against me. Charlie's not doing this because he's a fucking pain in the ass child who just doesn't know how to be an adult and say sorry when he's done something that has hurt someone else's feelings. He refuses the pattern that he holds within his family that gets played out within his family. he is raging against that every single area that he sees that play out in any other place of his life. So he felt like he was being villainized on the bus. And so he doesn't like being in that space. And that's why he acted this way. And Riley was like, this isn't even about me. And I was like, God, you are so wise, Riley. Because listen, he acted like an asshole. He was wrong, 100%. No one's saying he's not. But I just thought it was brilliant that she did the math of like, oh, that's why he acted that way towards me.
I think I missed that part.
I just feel like I'm a broken record. Like, good on Riley for understanding that this has nothing less than zero to do with her. And that is the headline for me. But like, if anybody tells me if one more of these kids tell me why Charlie's doing what he's doing and it all stems back to his fucking dad, I'm going to scream. Like, no, kick him out then. Like, there's just at a certain point, like, stop trying to figure out why he's doing this. We've all figured out why. The why is so clear. His dad treats him like a moron. I don't much blame the dad for that. He kind of seems like a moron. But even if like blame the dad all that you want, and it can be 1,000% true. The fact of the matter is that this kid is inflicting bullshit on other people nonstop.
Totally.
What did Ava say? Was it Ava or was it Riley that said every piece of drama that I have been involved in this whole whatever she said, it was the summer or the year or the stretch of time that she was talking about, it all involved Charlie. Like, Charlie isn't a little baby attention whore. He just is like making shit, shitting everywhere, and then being like, look what I did. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry, but that's what you wanted me to do, right? Is just apologize for shitting. But I had to shit. I'm a human being. Like, sorry, shit happens, And then like, it's just this, like, and it goes back to Bravo again. If it all sinks from the head from his dad, it all sinks from the network who fucking decided to put this kid in with all these other kids instead of just letting us all follow the good kids and learn a new way of life from the good kids.
So do you believe that his apology in this time around was, I don't believe it was genuine either.
Like, it's just another, oh, now I'm the star of this scene again. I'm going to apologize again, and then I'll just do something again.
Yeah.
The second that people start doing things that don't involve me, I'll fucking shit on someone else so that then we can turn all the cameras back to me, and then I'll act a fool, and I'll have a tantrum, and then I'll say some words that'll make you think about why all this is happening, and then we just waste a whole fucking. I'm just so tired of this specific kind of villain.
I'm with you.
I
think he should not be on the show and in therapy. A lot of it.
One of these things does not belong. It's Charlie.
We already kind of covered the next scene because it's when Ariana and Hudson are at the fashion designer's place. And so does anyone have anything to add to that? Because I feel like we really covered it earlier in the episode.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Just that I was like, again, I like that journey. I like that story. I like that they're doing the right things. I like that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just like that that's how it's supposed to be, And anybody who is out there trying to do something and you're discouraged and pissed off at yourself or feeling dumb, or you went and met with somebody and you said some stupid shit, like, it's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to say stupid shit in the beginning and then get better and better and better and better, and then you get what you're working for. Like, don't get discouraged. Don't feel dumb. You can feel dumb, but don't let it stop you from continuing on. I guess.
I think something interesting about this scene is if you're just looking at Hudson, I love those big stretchies. Hudson's dad is wealthier than Charlie's dad. He has like $1 billion chicken empire or something like that.
Zaxby's chicken.
Zaxby's chicken. Thank you.
Shannon Fall was like, I don't understand why Charlie doesn't like this kid. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, this kid's dad's richer than Charlie's dad. Like, that's never been the thing for Charlie. And she was like, oh, fuck.
But it is so interesting to see the difference between the two. And yes, are they living in an incredibly expensive apartment? I'm sure this kid also gets an allowance every month or whatever, but they could not be more different. Like, Hudson seems respectful. He's going to these meetings. He's asking the questions. He has a great relationship. Like, it's not the money. It's the parenting. Like, that has screwed the Charlie up. I think it was just interesting to me to be like, oh, wait, here's Hudson out here doing all the shit that we wish Charlie could get in line and do, right? Like, be hungry, have a goal, see him go to work. Dylan said it. He's like, I've lived with him for years. I've never seen him work a day in my life. And the cameras have been on Hudson for what? 3 weeks, and we've already seen him find an apartment, move out of a city that he was born and raised in. That's hard to do, as we all are transplants and can tell you how hard that is.
Go on.
And then also just seemingly be really hungry to start this fashion brand. And I'm excited for the journey as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last scene is Khloe's birthday party with when the star of this episode is is the moment when Brooke says, "No, I don't crack under pressure, but I crack under tequila."
Yeah,
And he told, obviously, Ariana what Ava had said. And I was actually so curious to hear how you took what Ava said, because I took it the way you did. I didn't think, listen, do I think there was a little bit of an inelegance to it? 100%.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
Amira did clock that and just say,
Dude,
like,
that was
she's like, don't do that.
that was like, okay, yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna say anything mean ever again in my life because of the way she was just
So clear about it.
Do that.
Yeah,
Just don't be a dick.
Just don't do it.
Natalie used to say that all the time. Just be cool. Like when we would get in fight, like I would be being a dumbass, and her response would be like, "Just be cool." Like that was all she wanted.
Why didn't you say that last
fucking-
week
yeah.
during the Valley, Natalie?
Yeah.
If those are the magic words that gets us out of that.
Be cool.
They've never
dude.
gotten me out of anything. So
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. But it's
I
cool.
said them, that didn't produce anything.
But it does make sense, like, yeah, just fucking be cool. Why? Just be cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing else needs to be said. Just be cool, and everyone's gonna have a good time. So I don't think it was the best way to ask or say it, but I also, like I said earlier, 50-50, like, I don't think we'll know until we see the rest of that conversation. But the only person in that whole scene that bothered me was Ariana going to the bathroom and just kind of getting, a little fucking sassy and chest poundy before she came out and sat down and was like, "Are you okay?" Because like Ava did, like, are you okay? Like it seemed like she was like, fuck. You know what also was funny to me? And this is a byproduct of these kids knowing exactly what the fuck's going on. Like these producers are going to have a hard time with these kids because they already been like, they know like the Housewives kids are just going to tell the other kids like, oh no, this is what's happening right now. So when Brooks came over and sat down and he was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. And she was like, Ariana was like, no, but you have to. And even Gia was like, come on, bro. This is how you do it. This is our job now. And he was like, ugh. That was funny to me.
When he goes, they asked 5 times and literally it was 1, 2, 3.
Totally.
That's cute.
So I just thought that was funny that he truly, I got that thing that he was like, I don't want to be this person on the show. So yeah, the only person I was like a little bummed out with was Ariana because I didn't like the whole thing. And then when she came back and Ava was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Are you okay? Why are you coming for my brand that you don't even know anything about?" Nobody knows anything about your brand. You don't have a brand. Like, just calm down and let's rephrase that question.
Yeah.
So again, still into these two. Love Ariana, but like I said it before, like I hope this doesn't turn into like a full blown like, oh, these kids are just really bratty reality show diving into.
I hope it's a beautiful conversation amongst adults next week.
And if it's not, then that's fine too. If Ariana's that's her, that's fine too. Like, okay, cool. Like, not everyone can be perfect. We can't get 100 Rileys, so I'll take what I can get and I'll move on.
I have a hot take.
Oh, what is it?
It's a hot, completely baseless prediction.
Okay.
From this tiny sliver of a vibe that I get from Ava when we were talking about it, and I was like, what would be so much cooler than this stupid little like argument about like, oh, I don't think you're very fashion, or she doesn't scream fashion to me, or his name Dame Dash.
Mm-hmm.
He's always asking, what's up with these kids? All Nepo babies? What's going on? Who's got what? Who's doing what? Who's got their hands in what? Like, what do they all got going on? Oh, then there's so-and-so. He's fashion. But that was Brooks, right? That he said that she told him Brooks is doing fashion. I feel like if she would tell her dad, Ariana, she's with this dude. Who's that kid? Well, his dad owns this. What are they doing? They're trying to do a fashion line. I don't think they know what they're doing. Ava, honey, you know who does? You do. Figure out how to let them know they don't know what they're doing, and then you swoop in and you offer your services. for 10%.
So you think it's all planned? This whole thing is a plan.
I mean, like, listen, when shows are, being developed, they're being developed for years and years out. Like, these things take a bajillion years to actually come to. You never know how the show originated, like what the ultimate goal is, maybe what they wanted the show to be. They're going to start it out a different way. We've heard that like half the cast quit because they started bringing on Housewives kids, and it kind of turned into something that like wasn't initially meant to be. Charlie's no quitter though. This is all Charlie's got going on. So Charlie's just going to talk about the shit on everyone, but he's going to be like,
paycheck.
Yeah, but this is my show. I'm the reason you're on this show. Who did he say that
says
to?
It to Georgia. It's in the coming
happened,
attractions for this coming.
Oh my God. You're already whipping that out. Jax Taylor, come on. Part of it could be that like you are who your parents are. Sometimes, and I cut this out of the very first episode, but because I said Ariana has given me no reason to think this. I'm only thinking about it because when you ask the questions of why and how, you could set out to not be your parents, but in some fashion you wake up and like there's just little things that happen all the time. I'm not saying with everyone, but a lot of people like I do. I'm like, wow, I'm my mother. How did this happen? Like this is crazy. This is wild. Like Ariana clearly knows that like money doesn't last forever. Money comes and it goes, and I've got a whole family to support now. I can't rely on my mother to do anything. Who's super reliable? Her boyfriend of now 10 fucking years that she's been with this entire time. Like you might really gravitate to not money necessarily, but stability. My mom has a bunch of kids now, and if they can't even pay their mortgage or keep the electricity on, I have to be responsible for this. Ariana she's gorgeous. Her boyfriend, not attractive. I'm sorry. It's a lovely kid. Lovely guy.
No, it's
Love
his
him.
hair. It's the hair.
It is
Because
the
when
hair,
they cut
that
back
hair.
to his older pictures with the regular haircut, I'm like, that's a fucking good looking kid. It's this fucking weird ass hair. He needs to cut his hair and go back to the like different haircut. Because in older pictures, he looks totally normal.
Yeah.
Let me
So
just
again,
shit
like,
on
just
the
to
kids,
reiterate,
but,
this
like,
is going under Natalie's completely baseless
Conspiracy theories.
Like just you're all your parents' children. I mean, if Charlie's not fucking exhibit A, I don't know who is. Like Brooks is as well adjusted as he is because he's got a dad like he does. You're all your parents' children. Dame Dash is wheeling and dealing, always has been, still is. She's getting evicted out of her $10,000 a month apartment because life fucking lifes. And what's the next? Not score, because that makes it sound, but like everyone's hustling. This is a city of hustle.
I wonder if it's true because I saw that headline also, and I went to go read it, and then I don't know, squirrel something
I
happened.
mean, you went further than I did. I didn't even read it. About half the cast quitting.
No, her being evicted from her $10,000 a month apartment.
Yeah,
because there are we have talked about this before that like Damon's business may or may not be doing that well.
Yeah.
Like he's gone through some hard financial times. Because you would think if you got it like that, you would get your kid's apartment back up to being fully paid off, and then take it from here, kid.
Yeah, especially the one he believes in her so much. So I don't know. Like I said, this is just what could this show end up being? We don't really know what it is. We're all just kind of like things are happening and it's unfolding, and it could unfold for the next 10 years. It could be over after the season. Who fucking knows? This recap could be over by next week if we lose any more subscribers on it.
Right.
Well, in an effort to keep this train moving, should we go into the commenters?
Yeah. Deborah Lashley says, I had too many students who would do anything for attention, positive, negative. Any attention would do the trick for them. Charlie has many issues and almost zero skills to overcome his issues. I have my moments of wishing he could accept some major help for this. I'm not making excuses for him, but I feel that his eyes are so blank and just plain sad.
I have that comment too. So well put.
Yeah. Turn that frown upside down, Charlie.
Come on, Chuck.
Yeah. Harris says Dylan is gay royalty because he was mirrored in controversy, as Schwartzy likes to say, in the gay influencer world. Used to see him in WeHo bars all the time. Dylan was romantically involved with one of the first gay influencers in the mid-late 2010s, became super famous, then disappeared, came back, and then said he was a changed heterosexual male, only for him to now identify as bisexual. And according to some of my fellow gay friends of friends, he is quite the late-night wrestling matches champ.
Who knew?
Little Red says, allegedly 4 people quit the show when they heard the Housewives kids were going to be on the show. So I guess that means Housewives kids get a hard time. Almost everyone had crappy childhoods. It doesn't mean you have to bring it into your adult life. Every show has a villain. Tag Charles is it. In the South, Manners mean everything. That's it. That's
Yep.
all. Just be cool. I also want to say for the record that I know that I go for a lot of people and I know that I'm hard on a lot of people. But I really think if I look back at everybody I've really come for, it's all as soon as they come for other people. It's all as soon as they try to take down someone else or determine someone's destiny or be a reason why they can't feel good about something great that they just did. It all is I prove me wrong. I'm sure maybe somebody remembers something that I don't. You know, when I make fun of like Michelle's boyfriend for having bulgy eyes, like, yeah. Okay, that's a little below the belt.
Oh,
For
God,
the
I
most
thought
part,
we were going to get
when
through
I-
one night without mentioning this.
Never. But when I do go for the jugular, it's because they have decided to take all of their like insecurities and all of the things that have ever happened to them in their whole lives and make it someone else's pain. And I think that's bullshit. And I'm not here for it. And I think that that's what gets me all riled up. But I could be forgetting someone. Sometimes it probably does get a little sloppy over here. So
Yeah. Kyle.
Kyle, I thought he was trying to take down Craig. And he tries to take down everyone. He's the dictator of the dinner table. I don't feel bad for Kyle. Kyle thinks he's an alpha and he tries to alpha everyone, but he's not that smart. He's not that good at it. And so he goes up against someone like Paige, and then Paige makes him show his ass. And
Bully's
it
the
just
bully.
is like, sorry, man. Like, you went for, like, learn your lesson. Every year you're going to go after this? Like,
Well, yeah,
you're
because
never
now
gonna
it's a
win.
thing.
Yeah, now it's a thing. Yeah. I don't think I'll get as pissed next time when he does it. But I guess it depends on what it is. Let me tell you. Okay, that's all I got. And then I'll close it out with truth after.
My turn. Catherine Flanagan. Courtney, your explanation of why Charlie is the way he is was excellent. Mike's description of Natalie's life with two athletes was so interesting. I see where Natalie is coming from. She's very matter of fact. However, Charlie is lost. Biggest problem is he has no ambition. How sad. I hope Seth does step in and be there for Charlie. There's a couple comments about your pappies. This is Lee Armstrong. Mike Mark talking about this is Mike, not Mark. We've established who Mark is now.
Mark's the stormer.
Yeah,
We got a
Mark's-
runner.
we
That's
got a
see the
runner.
other
That's
show.
Mark.
Yeah.
If you see Mike starting to be an a-hole,
That's Mark.
that's Mark.
Yeah.
Mike Mark talking about Natalie's upbringing makes me want to know everything about the three of y'all. Please do a video on just y'all's personal lives. I want to know it all. Please do this before y'all get 1 million followers and start charging us for your content.
So you'll pay?
Yeah,
That's all I
right.
got.
So
Someone's
what I
gonna
wanted
pay
to
for
talk
this?
about was that last comment. We're still pretty new at this, and it's kind of weird. It feels weird to have someone be like, "Oh, tell me more about yourself." And I just
Not for me.
yeah, not for Courtney. So yeah, this whole exchange, I won't read the whole thing, but Carrie G is really good at explaining things to you that you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. Carrie G, I said like, oh, we're still new. This is weird. We don't know about it. And she just broke it down in such a way that we're probably going to have to do it. So we'll get something. We'll figure out how to do it so that we don't feel like total morons and that we don't bore you to death. And
I'm
we'll
not doing that.
we'll get something out. It'll probably mostly just be Natalie. This is Miss Chevy. As a born and raised and still live in New York City girl, most of us do not introduce ourselves to strangers in the club, lounges, parties, and public settings. We have fun with strangers all the time, and if we vibe with you, maybe then we ask your name, especially in Manhattan and Brooklyn. In my opinion, it's up to the person who invites the guest to introduce everyone. I know I have an unpopular opinion. I was at an event last night in Brooklyn dancing with strangers. No one told me their name. Most of us don't want to know anyone's name. You might be a weirdo. I second that. We are not that nice in New York City. Sorry to say that about my city. In my opinion, Riley did not need to volunteer her services. Introducing herself, whatever happens to her after that is on her. This is not the South. No Northern hospitality over here, which I just thought was funny. But I think Miss Chevy's funny.
No, I was thinking,
She
you
is.
know what? Courtney thinks that people do that because that's what Courtney would do.
Totally. We were
Courtney's
talking
the one that's
about that.
hopping over a
Yeah.
booth and going, "Hey guys, I'm Court."
Yeah.
And you are welcome because we wouldn't be here today if I didn't
It's true.
fucking jump over a banquette at a club and
That's
say,
true.
hi,
That's
we're
true.
neighbors.
Yeah,
Do you play board games? You don't. I won't hold that against you. Do you still want to be friends?
that's true.
Look at us now.
So you know what, Miss Chevy, you too could have a friend like Natalie if you guys started saying hi to strangers.
Yeah.
We have enough friends, me and Miss Chevy.
Yeah, I'm with Miss Chevy.
We're at Capass.
Harris, I definitely agree that Charlie is a product of nurture, but I have to believe there's an aspect of nature there. I think he just sucks. He's giving Batman villain origin story, which I thought that was the funniest part of this whole thing. He literally was at the crypto house where someone was kidnapped and being tortured.
Oh.
Like, I wouldn't trust him, and it makes me really concerned for the other cast members that put faith and trust in him. The drawing sealed the deal for me. We all know people that have faced adversity and neglect by those who were truly heinous, and I agree with Courtney. There is a darkness and evil, and I think it's both nature and nurture.
Those drawings fucked me up.
Those drawings were tough.
Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
I drew that of Dad.
How old was he when he did that?
Like a little kid. They were like stick drawings.
No, I know. I'm just wondering how old he was.
Oh, I don't know if they said.
I said a comment. I'm like, I think he did those drawings at the crypto house. A couple months prior.
My guess is like 7
I'm
or
telling
8.
you. I went to a really small Baptist school, and there was only 2 classes. And you found out like the day before school, like whose class you're going to be in, and then everybody fought like hell to like try to switch, and they would never let you switch. And my mom did really try really hard one year to get me to switch, and I heard her say on the phone, she works a lot harder for people that like her and like get her and whatever. And then I said that like later on, like a week later or whatever it was, like the topic came up, and I'm like, I just find that I work a lot harder for people that like I get along with and like me and get me and understand. My mom goes, you heard me say that. And that's what I sometimes think about Charlie. He's heard someone say that like all of your problems can be blamed on your parents. He is in the back. He's probably 27 years old doing a sketch and being like, Mom, look what I found. Did I do this when I was a little kid?
Yeah, right.
Like, I would not be shocked. I just feel like this kid is finding new ways to say, it's fine that I'm at where I'm at in life because womp womp.
But wait, let's just get to the real, more important part of that story. This explains so much. This is why you only like guys who really like you, because you're going to work harder and better with a guy that's really into you.
Yeah,
wow.
When people like me, I think you understand, you get it. And so I appreciate that you get it. And then when other people don't.
So your mom wasn't wrong or lying. That is the truth.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. But like I overheard her say that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no.
I wasn't old enough to understand that about myself.
No, and I don't mean it in like like I just mean like I never knew that your mom said that about you when you were little.
She was on the phone and I was just listening from the other room. And she's like, she'll work a lot harder for someone who gets her.
I was that kid where they were like, no, if we just move her, then she won't talk as much. And what I overheard is there is nowhere you could move her that she won't talk as much. Different, but the same.
Chatty. And this one's from Nettie regarding Charlie. Declaring bankruptcy at 27, while it appears that you sit on your ass all day long instead of looking for an actual job and smoke weed instead of lighting a fire under your ass to get something accomplished, screams to me irresponsible, entitled loser. He may think he's cute, but I think it's sad. And
I think it's sad too.
I agree.
Nettie nailed it.
Yeah, Nettie. Fucking coming with the heat. I'm going to do a couple more. Build Indie. Jackson Pollock was literally funded by the CIA. Moving on.
Okay, well, I would like to
Moving
cite
on.
references.
Moving on. References. Look it up. So obvious. Shannon Fall. I think Seth is trying to make up for lost time with his kids since he was always traveling while they were growing up. He seems out of touch with how old his children really are. He wants a deeper connection with his kids like Meredith has, but he's not seeing that she's been building that connection with them for years, and especially during their formative years. I just thought that was I didn't watch that show, but I thought that was a very interesting thingy. What do you call it?
I also think Seth's just like a
Realization.
goofy guy, and not that that's wrong, but I think in addition to that, he's just like a goofy guy that just wants to be around his kids and get closer and whatever.
Yeah, and he enjoys this whole world that he's
Yes.
doing. Like, you know how Meredith, I feel like Meredith is like always like, I don't know if I'll come back or not. I feel like all they've been doing is waiting for Brooks to do something so that they could just go be a part of
Yeah,
his
like
life.
Meredith, we don't care if you come back or not. I got Brooks' show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And by the way, I'll take 100 Seths before I'll take one Anwar. Dad
Oh,
wise.
yeah.
Who's richer?
Anwar.
I'm
Anwar.
kidding. I'm kidding. Just a joke.
Seth does pretty well though. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Great.
enough.
This from Christina. Christina Coca. And I've always felt this way and said this, and a lot of people don't like it. She did. I was running to my keyboard to say, okay, but you don't have to. And then Mike started talking. Yes, taking care of your family, even if you have issues with them, is a great thing to do, but that's a personal choice and you don't have to do that. Nobody should feel guilty for going no contact if they need to. I was shouting, yes, Mike, thank you. Editing to add that I was hanging on every word of this episode. I love dissecting the show that I wasn't even planning to watch. All of us. Like, that's
I know.
all of us. Again, not many people agree with me when I say that. So it's nice to
No,
hear
I think
that.
you had a lot of love for that
somebody-
comment.
Yeah. All right.
It's true.
Shannon Fall, I want Brooks to want to learn to sew.
I love that,
It's
Shannon.
funny.
So good.
Mary Ayaka Kent. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad y'all do next gen. I love this generation. My kids are these ages now, and there's something about these young 20-year-olds I find so refreshing. They support each other and they speak their minds and they don't give as many fucks. I've been so impressed with them. My sons are 20 and 22. I had them when I was young. And the conversations we have are so fascinating and thoughtful, and they just inspire me that they are all James Spader, Charlie excluded, which I also thought I said to you during the first episode. This show reminds me of God, what was that movie?
With James Spader?
Yeah,
Pretty in Pink.
no, the one where he's a cokehead. What's his name dies? Robert Downey Jr.
Spoiler alert.
Robert
Less
Downey
than zero.
dies?
When
Oh.
when we watched the first episode, I was telling you, I'm like, oh, this reminds me. This is giving me like Less Than Zero, Breakfast Club kind of vibes, like
Was
just
Christian Slater in that?
in Less Than Zero. Maybe.
Hmm.
I think it was like Robert Downey Jr. and James Spader, and Robert Downey Jr. has a coat. They're all like rich kids that fucking go to parties and do drugs. It's a good time.
Woo!
Yeah. Anyways, despite they all seem to have good head on their shoulders and hopeful optimism, but good sense too. That maybe humanity isn't doomed. And it goes on and on. It's refreshing to watch their friendships. But yeah, I feel the same way. It gives me hope that humanity isn't doomed. English speaking maybe, but humanity not. This will be my last one. Goldie Graham, just following up. What do they do? They call it a wraparound. This
Yeah.
one's a wraparound. So this week's episode furthers my point that Charlie is Jean Raphael. Number 1, doesn't have a real job. Number 2, acts like he's dope, but he's really a dork. And number 3, his rich daddy prefers his sister, which she did say she feels bad for saying, but it's too perfect. So say it. I thought that was fun. The Jean Raphael. We got to watch some Jean Raphael.
That's
I
true.
miss him.
I have one from Shannon Fall that I forgot to read, only because I want to correct something I might, well, not correct, but clarify. One from Shannon Fall. Okay, did Charlie call Ariana's boyfriend a cuck, like slang for cuckold? So Charlie is saying Ariana is unfaithful to him, and then Charlie referred to him as her little boyfriend in his text with Georgia. What's Charlie's deal with this guy? I think we talked about it earlier about how Charlie's dad is just richer than, or I'm sorry,
Hudson's dad is
Hudson's
richer
dad's-
than Charlie's
yeah.
dad. That's why Charlie doesn't like Hudson.
Yeah. This comment made me realize, like, I actually am not totally 1,000% sure what cuck means. I've always thought it meant that you were a watcher. You like to watch. And I'll use it for people who like to watch sexually and like to watch other people live their life and comment as opposed to living it themselves.
No, how about this? I could be wrong. I've always taken it as like more of a beta type person where it's like, oh, you fucking cuck, you want to watch me fuck your wife?
Yeah.
Meaning like, not just like, oh, you're a voyeur. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but you're just like a passenger. You're watching
like what kind
other
of
people
man,
do things.
like,
yeah.
you know, like what kind of man wants to watch another man take his wife, his like, you loser, you're such like a peon. You're from small town Atlanta. This is the big city. Like, I was thinking he was using it as more of like a you beta ass bitch.
Yeah, that's how I mean it when I'm saying it.
Got
too,
it.
So
It's
okay.
a weak or servile man or a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful.
Yeah, so like weak, servile, beta. I mean, not that beta's weak, but the connotation is. Yeah. Okay. A Mandy J said, I have a new respect for the Housewives as their kids have turned out so well and they all seem to have a great relationship with their family. Even Ariana seems to still have a loving relationship with her mother, even though she accused her mother of stealing all of her money. Seth, Brooke's dad, is trying too much and is totally cringe, but I loved it and thought it served Charlie right for trying to wind up Brooks about him potentially hooking up with Khloe. And it is true. Like, I do actually see the Housewives and the house husbands just a little bit different now from getting to know their kids, because some of these kids are just so evolved.
Do we think it was the housewives and husbands though, or do we think it was them putting all their kids in therapy at 8?
But that's still a parental choice. I know parents that are like, my kids don't need therapy. This is fine.
But I also know parents that are like, I'm gonna go for a martini. Why don't we put this fucking kid in therapy?
Shannon Fall said Charlie's ignorance on that bus and his double down from post microaggression was so gross. Briley broke it down for him so beautifully, and he couldn't muster up a teaspoon of contrition. He's a flippant douche. Aye, Captain. Nailed it. Grace Carr said, I feel bad for Riley. As a melanin person who grew up in an affluent suburb on the East Coast, I could see exactly what she was trying to communicate. She's on the taller side. She is more melanin, on the more melanin side, or melanated side, sorry. She still has a country twang in her speech. She's not model thin and wears her hair naturally. She could be allowed to exist normally, but in certain circles, her existence alone may be seen as less palatable. I think it was great that Ava stuck up for her. And the sad part is, I'm sure she felt like she could bridge the gap of communication because she is the palatable version of a Black person that, in quotes, some of those circles will listen to and respect, i.e., looser texture, hair, skinnier, diction, etc. Charlie is just a dense jerk where everyone can get his wrath even when they're his friends. I don't necessarily find him racist, but ignorant with his hyperbole of using stereotypical gestures when explaining the conversation. It hurt her because she thought they were friends and that he wasn't a part of the people who see her as what I stated above. But in the moment she realized he doesn't respect her. And I thought that put it so plainly and perfectly.
Yeah.
Harris said, Courtney, ball busting Abbiati, 2 B's. Don't forget it, MFers. And I'm going to steal that now because when people go to spell my last name, they're always like, wait, is it 1 B and 2 T's? I'm like, no, it's 2 B's, 1 T. Ball busting. Harris wrote a really great comment about the Riley situation last week. Also, I'll never know what it's like to be a Black woman in America, but I can imagine it's very delicate and like walking on a tightrope. Riley handled herself with such grace, and I agree with Courtney in saying that she was not aggressive at all and was just trying to make Charlie's weird friends acknowledge her presence in a very polite, kind of funny way. And you know what? So what if she was aggressive? Regardless, Charlie's reaction to her and him trying to discredit her feelings of the microaggressions being projected onto her was deplorable. Maybe this is expecting too much from Bravo's very own evil alternate Bruce Wayne turned Joker. But you'd think growing up in New York, a city with a silver spoon, he'd have some tact and experience in interacting with people of color to know what he did was not okay. Coming from personal experience growing up in a predominantly white conservative space as a loud, goofy, gay, half Filipino, I understand her, but I will also acknowledge my privilege of still being a half white man, and I want to see more of her. I want to see more of her also. And I too, I don't know if we touched on this, I too thought that, where it's like, you've grown up in like very culturally diverse groups of people in this city that's
And
incredibly
traveled a ton.
yeah, like
He
you would have thought you
knows.
would have known better.
He does know better.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid.
Oh, that's it. That's my last comment too.
Okay, closing it out with truth. Everyone's story is interesting, but to me, Ariana's is by far the most captivating. She is dating a billionaire's son and has a money-hungry mother who is currently losing everything. Kim is going to be devastated if they break up. This can be a spinoff show or made into a movie. If I say you are a wet blanket, Michelle from the Valley, and don't belong on on reality TV, please take that as a compliment. It means I perceive you as a nice, normal, and functioning member of society. I'm not detecting a personality disorder in you. If I say you were made for reality TV, please take that as an insult and seek therapy immediately. Kim Zolciak was made for reality TV.
Yeah.
Brooks Marks, a fashion designer that doesn't know how to sew. What? That's like a surgeon that doesn't know how to surgerize. Surgerize? Did I just make up a word? Did I just turn into Wendy Williams? By the way, shout out to Wendy. I miss watching her. You guys remind me of her because you're all so unfiltered and say it like you mean it, which I love. I'm just afraid that if you guys get a Dots Pretzel sponsorship, you'll lose your punk rock.
Never.
Just kidding. I know you guys won't sell out. Mike's Jackson Pollock comment proves this. Anyway, back to Brock. Brock? We weren't even talking about Brock.
She says at the end of this,
fucking
oops, I
love her
meant
so
Brooks.
much. Oh, she meant Brooks. Okay. I haven't even read this yet. That's how much I trust truth.
Yeah, her next comment after that was, I meant Brooks.
Okay. His father, Seth, is so funny. When he mentioned that his son could get hella Instagram views if he got attacked by a wildebeest or saber-toothed tiger or something along those lines, how could Brooks not be busting a gut? He's so deadpan. He doesn't appreciate his father's weirdness. I do. I want Seth to be my uncle. And Riley is so lucky to have Candy as her mother. She knows that being Riley's mother trumps being her friend. She's not going to involve her daughter in her drama. I'm looking at you, Danielle Staub from New Jersey Housewives. Candy is an excellent mother. She has to be my favorite housewife from Atlanta. I think you said she's yours,
She
like
is my
all-time favorite, right?
She's top 3.
Top 3. Okay.
Candy.
I love Phaedra's one-liners, and she was amazing with her reads during the Traders. She's a wordsmith among wordsmiths. That's coming from.
But she's right. Phaedra's one-liners are so good.
But in this, I mean, game recognized game.
Yeah, really.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wait, then you'll know this. I'm going to put the boom in the tomb. That's a great Phaedra Parks line when she was learning how to be an embalmer.
Oh, we listened to Phaedra
Oh, wait,
on
is
our,
that
we
who
listened to
we-
Jeff Lewis pod on our way back,
She's
and she
funny.
was on
She's
there. She's
hilarious.
great. I know. I love her. What she's doing with crystals is a interesting subject. It's probably what you do too. So
I didn't hear it, so I don't know.
Okay. She was okay. Wait, she's a wordsmith among wordsmiths. But if I was forced to choose who I would want to be my mother and or best friend, I'm going with Candy. Candy's loyal, talented, and beautiful. It's so funny you guys just mentioned the movie Dazed and Confused. I was just thinking about that movie. About once a month, I reevaluate my top 3 movies. It can change or stay the same from month to month. Currently, it's Idiocracy, Dazed and Confused, and Point Break.
I love Idiocracy.
Yeah, but Point Break just had so many one-liners that you.
Oh, Point Break is my one-liner movie.
Yeah.
I'm
Utah.
an FBI agent. Yeah.
Utah, give me
Make it
2.
Make it 2. Make it 2. Yeah, dude, it's.
I won't say my favorite one. 'Cause
There's
it's
the best
gross.
one-liners. That to me. That is my one-liner movie.
I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it in
Oh, it's
years.
so
Me
good.
too. P.S. Look up Jean-Michel Basquiat's paintings that have sold for $15 to $20 million and convince me that high art isn't just a way to wash money. And then she because this isn't really coming from Truth's account. It's a burner account. She's like, this is Truth for Peace. YouTube is giving me problems with posting it. My favorite movie in the world is called Beautiful Girls, and I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it, and I think you'll like it. I'm not telling anyone else that. I told Joe
There's
Schmo she would
zero-
like it.
I bet you they both seen. Joe Schmo's seen every movie in the world.
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Schmo had never seen it.
What?
Joe
And I sent her
Schmo.
The clip.
I sent her the clip with
I didn't
Rosie.
realize she hadn't seen it,
She
though.
hadn't seen it, and
Were
she
they
said,
in
"But
the
I checked
store
out the."
talking
she
about
said
the big
cast
girls?
looks incredible. The cast is
It's
fucking
incredible.
Oh,
incredible.
it's
yeah.
Joe Schmo. Check it out if you
Yeah.
haven't already.
I don't even know. Like, there's one storyline in that movie, which whatever. I don't even know if you could do that movie today because of like what people would take from that storyline. But I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Anyway, great movie. Anyway,
Yeah, it
that's all I
is
got.
a great one.
We did 2 shows today, guys,
Yeah.
because we love you guys.
This
We
was
did.
supposed to be
So
30
like and
minutes.
subscribe.
30 minutes? What do you it takes us 30 minutes just to talk about what we're going to talk about.
By the way, we're under 2 hours. Like and subscribe. See you
that's
later. See you
great.
another day.
At least
Love you,
technically
bye.
we
Love you,
still have
bye.
2 Ow!
Love Island. I can't fucking wait to talk more.
I
about
can't
Love
wait.
Island.
I
It's-
can't
it's
wait.
really, I could throw all these shows away and just do Love Island every day.
I am so in love with Nick. I'm sorry. I am. I said it. There. I said it, Christina. I'm with you, and I'm gay.
You guys are going to have to
I
fight over
love him. When he came back and he was like, I missed you so much. And they kissed and they
yeah,
embraced.
because
and
he was on the chopping block.
I just, you
I love
watch-
it when a man gets it when they literally have no other choice but to get it.
You
wanna,
shut your mouth when you're
wanna
talking about my Nick.
champion that? Okay.
I love him. I love him. Yeah.